Hey guys, welcome back to the Struggleville 2 YouTube channel. I have a little PSA announcement on this Bauer heater at Harbor Freight being recalled. Now the recall was actually in September, but I think they stopped selling these quite some time beforehand. And the problem is they leak propane, which a propane leak is obviously a bad thing. Things go boom, things burn, people die. So it's not one of those, who cares about this recall kind of things. It's a little bit important, so I thought we'd talk about it a little bit. But I also have a question because maybe I've just been doing things wrong for years and years. But we have the Bauer Forced Air Propane Portable Heater. That's Lowe's trying to get me to pick up my order. Bauer Forced Air Propane Heater. The hazard is the fitting at the back of the heater can fail to be sufficiently tight, causing the heater to leak propane gas, posing a fire hazard. You can see this was issued on the 16th. They sold 19,000 units. It's kind of a new item. You know, sometimes they've had these recalls where it was in the millions of units. But Harbor Freight, let me tell you, they are the king of recalls. I have never seen a company recall more items than Harbor Freight. It's like every couple of months a new recall comes out. For the scripture says this recall involves Bauer forced air propane heaters, a forced air heater powered by propane gas. Thanks for the definition there. The unit is red and measures 13 inches long, 9 inches high, 17 inches wide. The name Bauer is printed on the side in white letters. The heater is item number 57176, printed on the ratings label at the rear. Okay. Remedy. Consumers should immediately stop using the recalled propane heaters and inspect the heater with a soapy water leak test per these instructions from Harbor Freight to determine that the fitting at the back of the unit is not leaking. Harbor Freight is contacting all known purchasers directly with updated instructions for use and detailed instructions on how to inspect and tighten the fittings on the heaters if necessary. I wonder if they're actually contacting people, because everyone has been annoyed by the cashier at Harbor Freight asking for your phone number, and they're fairly consistent and persistent actually with getting people's phone numbers. So if 19,000 were sold, I would say at least 75% they have the phone number to them. So I wonder if those people are actually getting called or not, or if it's just like, oh yeah, we're calling them. Yep. We got people dedicated to it. That's what they're doing all day long, just calling these people. If necessary, using the wrench supplied with the product to tighten the fitting it was talking about. If leaks persist after self-inspection and appropriate tightening as needed, contact Harbor Freight Tools. The firm has received 13 reports of propane gas leaking, including one report of a fire. No kidding. With a propane leak, you got a fire? What the hell is that? No injuries have been reported. Harbor Freight Tools stores nationwide, online, blah, blah. From November 2020 until March 2021 for about $100. So it's sold for like 4 or 5 months. Not on the market very long. It did not take long to notice there was a problem. And you can see they stopped selling them in March, but didn't issue the recall until September. So they sat on it for quite some time, knowing there was possibly a problem. It's weird. There was enough of a problem that we're going to stop selling it in March, but it's not enough of a problem to us admit that there was a problem until September. I wonder what was going on in that time in between there. But we do have this PDF from Harbor Freight. Now, there's not a date. Oh, here it is. Yeah, there is. This was issued on the 16th, too. I was hoping it was earlier. Safety recall to repair the propane heater. Harbor Freight Tools has received some reports from customers that the rear connection between the hose and the heater may leak. After investigating, it has been determined that certain units may exhibit a leak at the rear connection if the user has not properly tightened the fitting at the time of installation. So it's not a problem with their product, it's the user. Our customers are too stupid to use this. That's what they're saying right there. We are reaching out to stupid customers to remind you to follow proper procedures as specified in the manual and always check your products before use. In the interest of safety, please follow the steps below to test your heater for leaks before using again. Always use the heater in a well-ventilated area because that's where heaters work best. A place where the air can very easily just escape. Perform the soapy water leak check at the connection point as described in the product manual on page 11. See, we're telling you, you're so stupid you didn't read page 11. A digital copy of the manual can be found here. If you see bubbles, there is a leak. Tighten the fitting up to a quarter turn from hand tight using the wrench that was included with the heater. Do not over tighten. So here's my entire problem with this. I have made plenty of connections between a propane tank to a grill, to a heater, to that fire pit that we did a video on the main channel just a couple of months ago. Not once have I ever used a wrench to tighten that fitting. Maybe I've been doing it wrong my entire life, but I have never put a wrench on that fitting. Every single time I have made it hand tight. I believe at least a portion of the fittings I've put on were just plastic. There was no way to put a wrench on it. So I feel like, even if it's in the instructions and all this, yada yada, a propane connection is a very common thing. People do this regularly. If yours needs a wrench, and every other connection someone has made does not need a wrench, it would not lead the average person to assume they are supposed to tighten that with a wrench if they have never had to do it with any other propane item before. So I don't feel like this is a stupid consumer thing. I feel like this is you made a stupid product thing. Like, why? What was the price difference between the connection they used and any other connection that I have used in the past that did not need a wrench to tighten it? Did they save a penny? Did they save 2 pennies? That's the only thing I could think of. Why would you use that fitting and tell people, oh, you know, we also need to include a wrench? You had to include a wrench now. I'm still very confused on why it has to be tightened with a wrench. How have other products and companies figured out a way to make this connection without people needing a wrench, but they didn't? And actually, after I first saw this, I searched on YouTube videos related to connecting a propane tank because I thought, wait a second, I have never used a wrench. Am I doing this wrong? Am I the idiot? There's a Reddit sub that says, am I the asshole? Well, maybe they have one that is, am I the idiot? Because that's how I felt after hearing they're saying, oh, you have to put a wrench on it to tighten it. I'm like, oh, you have to put a wrench on that? You're supposed to tighten that with a wrench? I've never tightened that with a wrench. As far as I know, I've never had a leak. Never had anything go boom, so, that's good. So, anyways, I found one video of a guy tightening it with a wrench. Every other video, hand tight. I even looked at, like, Weber Grill's official YouTube channel on connecting a propane tank. They didn't use a wrench. It was hand tight. So what's going on here? And I'd like to see what the fitting looks like, but the only picture they provide is this one, and then on that other thing with the label. I want to see what that connection looks like, because if there's any plastic on it at all, ain't no way in hell would I assume that you're supposed to put a wrench on it. Now, I've seen ones that have like a plastic collar, then the collar can be backed off and there's a hex underneath. I still don't put a wrench on it. Never would have thought to put a wrench on it. They included this plastic thing so I can hand tight it. That's what I do. Anyway, I don't think it's stupid consumer thing. I think it's stupid Harbor Freight design thing. But they tell you to do the soapy leak test or whatever. No matter what, I would probably just return it. It just sounds like something I don't want to mess with. Got a bunch of reports of leaking propane gas, one fire. Maybe it was stupid consumer stuff, but do I want to take the risk, or do I just get my money back and go with a different heater that doesn't have a track record of leaking and causing fires? It says consumers experiencing leaks that cannot be stopped with use of the included wrench should discontinue use of the heaters immediately and bring the heaters to your local Harbor Freight Tools retail store to receive a refund. So there it is. That is the latest in a long, long, long line of Harbor Freight recalled items. This one can burn your house down, so that's good. But look, do you tighten the damn fitting with a wrench? Am I the only one who does not tighten this with? Am I out here saying, oh, I've never tightened it with a wrench, and someone's sitting there thinking, well, every single time I've ever tightened one, I put a wrench on it and tighten it down. Really? Really. Thanks for watching. Give the video a like, subscribe for a nice subscriber. I'll see you guys next time.